Well, I'm going to busy boy in the back with another video. Today I'm going to be checking out Geography Now Poland. Now I reacted to Geography Now Georgia, I reacted to Geography Now Italy, I just reacted to Geography Now Kazakhstan. Now I'm going to be checking out Geography Now Poland. Now you don't know, I took the walk to Poland. I took the walk to Poland. Y'all know that song, man. Shout out Lil Yachty for that song. He took the walk to Poland. But, you know, I knew about, let me be honest right now. I know all my geography stuff. I think I'm, in my classes, going to school and stuff, in college and everywhere, I'm the best at geography in my class, bro. Sometimes I don't even go to class and I be getting, like, good grades because I have soccer. I play football. I play soccer. The Americans call it soccer, but everybody else, is football. I play football in college, man, over here in the United States, and 2 to 3 weeks, sometimes I'm not in class because I got to go and play games, I leave school and whatnot. And, man, I come back to class and I know everything I could. The teacher asks a question, I'm the only person answering. That's because of my football knowledge, mate. I know about Poland because of man like Lewandowski and them, bro. All my football knowledge comes from, all my geography knowledge comes from football, man. But it's the first time seeing my face. You already know what to do. Subscribe down below. Road to 10,000 subscribers by my birthday, July 19. I'm almost halfway there. I think I'm almost at 5,000 subscribers right now. So subscribe down below, man. Let's get on the reaction. Let's check out Poland.
All right, we've reached Poland. Europe's, how can I put this? Poland knows how to take a hit. It's like...
Damn!
Is that all you got?
What did Poland do to all these countries, man?
I'm not even breaking a sweat,
It's time to learn geography.
No! By the way, this is my buddy Art. He's half Polish. Art, do you know anything about Poland?
I know nothing about Poland, but I know my last name means on Friday.
This man's name is Art.
So anyway, I have another
Friday.
Polish friend named Conrad who's actually also going to be in this episode. He's Polish and he speaks Polish.
Hey, that guy.
Well, Art, you can also play Poland in the skits and stuff in this episode. Is that cool?
Yeah, I guess so.
All right, cool. Anyway, hey everybody, I'm your host Barbs. Welcome to the Wolverine of Europe. The Poles know how to deal with calamity, and if there was ever a mutant apocalypse,
This
you
light
would
is
probably
killing me. I
want
gotta
one
turn
on
it
your
off.
team. In any case, let's begin.
Alright.
How to piss off a Polish person 101. Oh man, I just visited Poland. I sure loved that Eastern European country. It's Central
Ooh.
European. Yeah, they don't.
So Polish, you Polish people, y'all don't like when people say Poland is Eastern European. Y'all like Central. Okay, bet. I would never say Eastern European then.
Like being called Eastern Europe, even though, I mean, come on, they're kind of more on the eastern side of the continent.
Don't say that.
Okay, Central
Yeah.
European, Central.
Bet.
The country is located in Central Europe and bordered by 7 other countries. Keep in mind this little guy right here is a detached exclave of Russia called Kaliningrad. Speaking
I
of
know
which,
that.
we
I
already
learned about
mentioned
that
this
in
in the
school.
Germany episode.
I'm telling you, my school geography works
Bordered
too.
by 7 other countries.
I learned about this area right here in school. So remember, Russia's all the way over here. Like all this is Russia, right? But here's Lithuania, and other places, and then you have Kaliningrad, like Kaliningrad, whatever how you pronounce it. It's a part of Russia because they got it.
Keep in mind this little guy right here is a detached exclave of Russia called Kaliningrad. Speaking of which, we already mentioned this in the Germany episode, but Poland shares an island called Usedom, or Uznam, with Germany in this lagoon. The borders follow some natural boundaries like rivers and mountains. However, most of them were agreed upon after war times. The country is divided into 16 voivodeships, or provinces, the capital and largest city of the country, Warsaw, in the center. It also holds the busiest airport, Warsaw International. From there, the second largest city is Krakow, known as the medieval capital down south, and it holds the second largest airport, John Paul II Krakow International. And rounding out for third place is the city of Łódź, which means boat, nearly in the center of the whole country. Nonetheless, the city of Gdansk holds the third largest airport, Gdansk International, and also the busiest shipping port located on the Baltic Sea, where much of the cargo comes into the country. Otherwise, their entire sea access is confined to the coastline. They do not own any distant islands in the Baltic. Due to the general flat landscape making much of the north and central parts, Poland is a bustling transport hub with numerous roadways that traverse every single corner into every neighboring nation. Since joining the EU, nearly 2 billion euros have been invested in Poland's rail lines, and high-speed lines are being constructed today. Poland doesn't have any autonomous areas, but if we had to discuss historical and cultural regions, many people may just refer to this general area as Masuria, sometimes even historical Prussia. This general area is Pomerania. That's right, same as the dog, which is where it comes from. And the coastal area is Kashubia, where the Kashub Tupians are mostly found. There's
You learn something new every day, man. That's why I love YouTube. I learn a lot of stuff on YouTube.
Greater Poland, Lesser Poland, which at the very border has Ruthenia or Red Ruthenia. Parts of the south are considered Silesia, which are inhabited by peoples that have their own distinct culture apart from the Polish. It's all kind of confusing and we'll talk more about it later. One thing you have to understand is that historically, Poland had a lot of different types of administrative divisions and much of it was shaped by war. Sometimes they had more land, other times they had less, and for 123 years they kind of disappeared altogether. Here's Prussia!
Russia!
Austria! Well, actually, they almost completely disappeared. I mean, Krakow was technically a free city-state for about 30 years. And keep in mind, we mentioned this in the Lithuania episode, but if you want to be incredibly technical, historically, the Polish-Lithuanian Commonwealth had some colonies. Way back yeehaw, when they thought one island in the Gambia, as well as Trinidad and Tobago, would be good overseas investments.
What? Trinidad and Tobago? What? I did not know. As y'all know, Trinidad and Tobago is Jamaica's rival. If you didn't know, now you know. For everybody who don't know, the unspoken rule is, like, it's not written, like, unwritten rule, I should say. What did I just say? The unwritten rule is that Jamaica and Trinidad and Tobago are rivals in everything you can think of. In sports, in culture, in celebrities, in food, anything you can think of. Us Jamaicans and Trinidadians, we are rivals, mate. We get each other on social media. We do everything, man. But Jamaicans, as I should say, we are the true champions. We beat Trinidad every day and any day in anything, bro. We even took Nicki Minaj from Trinidad, mate. We took Rihanna from Barbados, bro. Don't mess with us Jamaicans. We'll steal your celebrity.
Investments, making them the only sites that the Polish had colonized outside of Europe.
Then what happened?
In the end, it was too hard
We might take Lewandowski from Poland. I'm joking. I'm just joking.
for them to manage, and they sold them off. The end. So anyway, here are some places of interest you guys, the Polish geography, suggested we mention this episode. They have quite a few UNESCO heritage sites. A lot of them are like chapels. The Holy Mountain of Gabarka, the Painted Village of Zalipe, Chopin's Heart, this rock city, the Upside Down House, Kościuszko Mound.
The Upside Down House? I gotta visit Poland one day too.
Chopin's.
I'm telling you, all these countries are on my bucket list. Like, when I have the money saved up, I'm going.
It's the Polish geography suggested we mention this episode. They have quite a few UNESCO heritage sites. A lot of them are like chapels. The Holy Mountain of Gabarka, the Painted Village of Zalipe, Chopin's Heart, this rock city, the Upside Down House, Kościuszko Mound, the Carrot House, the world's most narrow house. Tons of cool statues and monuments like these. The world's tallest Pope statue. Tons of World War II sites. It's kind of what they're known for. But the most famous one probably being the Auschwitz concentration camp. Of course, there are way too many churches like these. This one was where all the former kings were coronated. And of course, there's Warsaw's St. John's Cathedral. There's a bunch of synagogues that actually survived World War II. And there's even a wooden mosque for the Tatar minority in Kruszyniany. There's so many museums and galleries.
Wow, gallery of 40? This looks good. Like, I like seeing stuff like this. Like the grass cover and everything.
Here's a bunch of notable ones, and too many castles, but they're very proud of having the world's largest medieval castle in Malbo.
What?
Yeah, Poland does not fall short when it comes to sights to see, or things to do, or nature to explore. And that means we move on to the next segment,
Oh, come on, Kevin Hart and Stephen Curry. Come on, get off my screen. Why does Kevin Hart and Steph Curry... Oh my god, we got double unskippable ads. This is insane. Who keep doing this to my YouTube videos, mate? I'm just joking. Just take the time to subscribe down below and comment what other videos I should do next and what countries I should do next. Alright, we back.
The name Poland comes from Polani, which means people living in open fields. Poland is not all flat.
Okay, I see how that goes. Because Poland is more like a flat area, so, you know, of course it's going to be open land. It's like Florida. Florida is so flat, man. You don't see one mountain or hill in Florida. That's what's up.
And not all plains. There's much more to it than you think.
Okay.
Poland is generally divided into 5 physical regions: the coast, the lakelands, the Polish plain, the Polish uplands, and the mountain regions. Much of Poland's coast along the Baltic Sea is straight until you hit the east and you get these interesting natural formations called spits. We've already talked about them in the Lithuania
We call them bays in Jamaica.
episode, but basically, spits are thin, narrow sandbanks that divide the
this is
sea
what you're
from another
talking
body
about,
of
okay.
water, creating saltwater lagoons, the largest one being the Bay of Puck, the Szczecin, and the Vistula Vistula Lagoon, shared with Russia's Kaliningrad exclave. Much of the country inland lies on the flat Polish plain, part of the greater North European plain, a huge open flat segment of Central Europe that extends across multiple countries. Many people say that this is both the blessing and curse of Poland, because although a third of the country is forested, this one being the largest national park, and about a third is arable, making them a powerhouse contributor to Europe's agriculture sector, it did kind of make it easy for outside forces to enter and invade, with little or no natural obstacles barricading the interior of the country. Anyway, within this plain, many rivers like the Notek, the Varta, and the longest river, the Vistula, meander through the fertile valley.
I learned about the Vistula in school.
He's passing through many important cities like Warsaw. In the north side, you have two massive lake districts, the Pomeranian and the larger Masurian, which also holds the largest lake of the country, Lake Śniadwy. The further south you go, the higher the elevation gets until you hit the Poland uplands. A little further south on the border with the Czech Republic and Slovakia, you find the two main and largest mountain chains, the Sudets and the Beskids, which form the north part of the larger famous Carpathian mountain chain. Here you can also find the tallest peak, Mount Rysy, right on the border of Slovakia.
Alright, and that just about does it. Now I need my triple shot of espresso break, and this time Art is going to come in to finish off the physical geography section.
What do you want me to say, Barbie?
The next thing on the teleprompter.
Now, as you can see by this point, Poland has a lot more than just flat plains and lakes. They even have moving sand dunes in the north and a small desert in Boyenduf, which literally translates to mistakes. Yeah, Poland, deserts. You'd never think those two would go together, right? Oh, and there's also a crooked forest made up of trees that bend at a 90-degree angle.
What?
Mistakes. Yeah, Poland, deserts. You'd never think those two would go together, right? Oh, and there's also a crooked forest made up of trees that...
How? What happened? How did this happen? What's the science behind this?
bend at a 90-degree angle. Many people have theories as to how it got that way. Some say it's natural, some say it was a dude trying to make chairs. In any case, Poland is a major producer of apples, 6th in the world, as well as being the world's largest treacle.
What is it?
Heck is treacle? And amber exporter. I don't even know amber
Oh, I think I know what treacle is now.
is either. What is that? Petrified tree?
I know what this is. This is a gemstone. Come on, bro.
It actually is.
It is. Whoa. Today, though, Poland's economy is now mainly driven by the service sector and industry, with main products like machinery and cars, buses, and video games being their largest export. Anyway, Poland also has quite a few endemic animal species like storks, Eurasian lynx, roe deer, and they have one of the largest populations of the rare European bison, which, have you guys ever had a bison burger? I mean, that's like really good. All right, don't eat those are endangered. And bears. In fact, a bear once served in the Polish army, and there's a statue dedicated to him. Look it up.
Cocaine beer. Now that's crazy. How did y'all have a beer in the army, Poland? I thought Russia was bad when it comes down to beers. Like, I've seen the videos when people play with beers in Russia. You're telling me that in Poland y'all have a beer in the army? Y'all are badass. Yo, Polish people are badass, bro. What in the world? Y'all got a beer in the army? I would never try to fight your army, man.
Good old Wojtek. Anyway, time to finish up with food.
Yes, my
Polish
favorite.
dishes. You guys, the
Let's go.
Polish geography peeps,
That's what I call them, Art.
suggested we include things like bigosh, cabbage rolls,
Cabbage rolls are fire.
galanka pork knuckle, roasted duck served with honey and apples. So many soups like
Tripe. Polish mushroom. Carp. Sour cucumber. What? I've never tried any of these before. Well, maybe tripe. Tripe is similar to like what we have in Jamaica. We call it manishwada, but it's actually goat like tripe and stuff in Jamaica. Delicious.
these. But the national dish being sour rye soup. And of course,
Ah.
the most popular dishes many people have heard of: pierogi, kielbasa, kabanos, and Krakow-style sausage. And bagels! Yes, bagels are
Oh, I forgot. My roommate in Florida was Polish. How could I forget that? Now I'm thinking about it. I just remember midway through the video that I've seen the sausages because he used to buy a lot of those sausages. Shout out to him, man. One of my roommates in Florida when I was going to college in Florida, I won't call his name, but you know who he is. He's Polish, man. The whole family Polish. Crazy. Now I just remember. That's crazy.
originated from Poland, from the Polish Jews, not New York.
But they did move to New York.
Oh, and of course, you cannot talk about Poland without mentioning vodka. Some say it was invented in Poland, some say the Polish just make really good vodka, but either way, vodka usually takes up a huge section in most Polish grocery stores. I've seen this guy on vodka.
No, you haven't. That was Knob Creek whiskey, and we don't talk about that here.
Polish people know what they like. They're a distinct people. Speaking of which, we now move on to...
The future is threatened.
Oh my days, bro. Somebody remind me to get ad blocker on this computer.
Unseen.
Ad blocker is on the other computers
When
that
there
I
are
used to
battles
use.
to win for America's future.
Oh, come on. You need the Polish beer to fight that war. Come on, mate. Get off my screen. Get off my screen. Thank you. Why do they have an American football field? Should be a soccer field.
Thanks. Can I do like one of those special effect outros, like, you know, Wolverine theme? Can I have the claws or something like that?
Sure, yeah, go for it. Here.
Okay. Is it true if I kill you, I
Bro,
become
how
you?
did they edit this?
Let's find out.
Got too much time to waste.
Oh, it does work. Now, some of you guys have told me, in Poland, there's kind of like a word that sums up the Polish mindset. Załatwić. It means something along the
Załatwić.
lines of accomplishing tasks and taking care of business. Half of everybody in Europe has probably at one point at least encountered a Pole. They're everywhere, working. Polish doctors in Germany, Polish contract workers in London, Polish bus drivers in Iceland. Work is in their blood, and it's a huge part of who they are. The population is about 40 million. However, keep in mind, diaspora-wise, there are about 20 million Poles living abroad, and they are the second largest Slavic group after Russians. The country is incredibly homogenous, with about 96% of the population claiming to be Polish, which is part of the Slavic family group. This makeup is mostly due to the Nazi intervention of World War II and Soviet relocation policies of the 20th century that drastically changed the previously diverse population. The country has few minority groups. However, of the minorities, the largest groups would be the Silesian at about 1.3% and the Kashubians at just under 1%.
Okay.
The rest is mostly made up of other Europeans like Ukrainians, Belarusians, Czechs, and non-Europeans. They use the Polish zloty as their currency. They use the type C, E, and F plug outlets, and they drive on the right side of the road. Now, of course, the main language of Poland is, of course, Polish. Lots of people say Polish is like really hard to learn. For one, they have 7 cases of speech and too many consonants that are smashed all together at once. Geography Pavel says the Polish language is basically just spoken Wi-Fi passwords. Here's Conrad with a
That's a violation.
Polish tongue twister.
Chrząszcz brzmi trzcinie w
Książ mi spinie.
Szczebrzeszynie i szczebrzeszyn z tego słowa.
Zinie espresso przecież.
Sometimes even the Polish people
I got that, bro.
say they have to polish up on their Polish.
What? For real? Is that true? If you're Polish, comment down below. Do you gotta polish up on your Polish, like, they'd use it as a pun, but is it like hard to pronounce certain words too? Oh my,
With a Polish tongue twister.
Chrząszcz brzmi trzcinie w
Książ mi spinie.
szczebrzeszynie i szczebrzeszyn z tego słowa.
It's just this in the screw. I cannot do it. I'm sorry.
Sometimes even the Polish people say they have to polish up on their Polish. Otherwise, Poland is kind of a sociological anomaly. Even though they are Slavic, it's kind of like the easternmost extent of Latin influence, which explains why the majority at around 86% identify as either Catholic or, in the very least, nominally Catholic, varying degrees of devotion. Catholicism plays a huge role in Polish culture. They even have a channel dedicated to the Pope on TV.
What?
Politically, Poland is usually a more conservative nation that holds to its roots, and even though they're part of the EU, they usually do not let anyone tell them how they should run things in their own country.
I like that.
It's
I
their
like
own,
that.
their rules.
Yeah,
it's
facts.
like, all right, so it's settled. What do you
Brexit means Brexit. I'm joking.
think of this proposal for the union, guys?
I hate it.
Now, Poland, you're a key player. We need you to like this.
I still hate it.
Think for yourselves,
Come on,
man.
Poland, don't be stubborn.
Oh, really, Germany? You want to come back to Poland again and tell us how to do things around here? Do you remember what happened last time?
Oh my. Are you really gonna play this card again?
I always will.
Little exaggerated, but yeah, don't push the Polish. They've gone through tons of that. I mean, literally, like a fifth of their population died during World War II, the majority of whom were Polish Jews. Often in tight-knit Yiddish-speaking communities, Poland had one of the highest populations of Jews prior to World War II, and at one point up to 10%. They played a huge historical role in what Poland was and would be. Poles are proud that they were the only European-occupied country to never collaborate with the Nazis. They never officially surrendered, and all those years the Nazis were there, the underground army kept fighting. Poles have an incredibly complex history. I mean, they had a weird electoral monarchy thing. Conrad, explain.
So the royal elections of the Polish-Lithuanian Commonwealth became a thing after the death of the last Jagiellonian on the Polish throne.
Augustus.
And at his death, it was decided that there would not be a royal dynasty that would just continue from generation to generation. That is to say that they would elect a king
Monarchs.
from a royal dynasty in Europe, but after his death, they would once again elect another monarch instead of letting his children take over the Polish throne.
Thank you, Conrad. Taking all that heavy stuff in, Polish people have told me there's always kind of like this sense of somber, stoic, suspicious, cynical, yet predominantly seductive and prudent mentality that encapsulates the Polish. It's a weird paradox when you see them, because it's like...
Ugh, being Polish is the worst. Seriously.
I know, right? I hate Polish sausages. They're so gross.
They are, and the government is just totally whack.
Yeah, Poland is terrible.
What did you say?
You can't.
Yes, that's how every country should be. That's how us Jamaicans are. That's how I was smiling when I knew what was coming. Like us Jamaicans, we talk about Jamaica a lot in negative and positive, but if anybody else outside of Jamaicans say anything bad about Jamaica, just know we are on you. That's why I said we stole the celebrities from other countries, because the other countries were talking trash about our country. So we're like, you know what? We gonna make the whole world think that like Rihanna was from people actually thought Rihanna was Jamaican at one point. That's how bad we went on Barbados, and that's how bad we went on Trinidad too. Like if they talk trash about our country, whether it's online, on Twitter or whatever, I'm telling you, Jamaicans are coming for you, man.
Say that you're not from here.
Yeah.
Well, that took a little longer than expected, so here's Hannah with culture stuff.
Good to be back. Polish people have gone through a lot. They were pretty much fought for and invaded over 40 times for about 400 years. Nonetheless, the Polish people held through those centuries and retained their sense of identity. For one, in Poland, it is actually just as popular, if not maybe even more, to celebrate one's name day as well as your birthday. Poland has
What is a name day?
quite a high level of tertiary educated individuals.
Okay, they didn't explain it. If you're Polish and you're watching this, can you tell me down below in the comment section, what is a name day? How is a name day different from birthday? On your birthday, when you were born, do they name you instantly, or you gotta wait to get a name? That's why it's called a name day. I don't know. Let me know down below in the comment section.
Individuals, with about 80% of the young adult population having enrolled in university. Also,
Ooh, that's
side
great.
note, the 35% of Polish people living abroad are referred to as Polonia. There's a contest where we figure out who is the strongest man in the world, and Poland has won the most of those contests.
Ooh.
Then we have the Silesian and
Wait a minute. Now that I've seen that, let me just check something real quick. Cause my brain works funny, you know. When my brain says something, it's usually right. Let me just double check something real quick. Stay with me. Okay, never mind. Don't stay with me.
Kashubian minorities. Let's let Conrad explain this one because, you know, it's a little complex.
The Silesians, who live for the most part today in Upper Silesia, are an ethnographic group with a distinctive dialect of Polish. Internationally, though, it's considered not as a nation or people, though some within the region consider themselves as a nation, which the Kashubians are, and they are considered as a West Slavic people separate from the Polish people. They are loyal towards Poland, but they have their own recognized minority status, they have their own traditions, they have their own cuisine, and they have their own language. There are even bilingual signs, which Paul will definitely put in now.
Thank you, Conrad. They've also racked up quite a few Nobel Peace Prizes at 17. They are frontrunners of innovations and inventions like kerosene and the kerosene lamp.
What? They created kerosene oil? I didn't even know it was like from that region of the earth. I didn't know. Yo, us Jamaicans back in the day, before like electricity and everything was so high tech, like before all this technology and stuff, and you know, we used to have those lamps, like even older kerosene oil lamps, because back then, like not everybody could afford to pay electricity back in Jamaica at the time, and a lot of us would have kerosene lamps, bruv. Crazy.
The oil
times
well,
have
the
changed.
bulletproof vest, and the modern drug test. A lot of festivals can
Did they develop the modern drug test too?
be found year-round throughout the country and in different regions. Popular ones include All Saints' Day, May Day, the La Cognac Festival in Krakow, and during Christmas you might see the creepy Turon everywhere. To expound a bit more on Polish music and arts, here, you know, is Keith, or whatever.
Music in Poland goes way back to its ancient Slavic roots. Instruments typically used include things like the wood horn, the hurdy-gurdy, the horse hair drum, the pedal, accordion.
Wait a minute. Let me go back to this horn real quick.
17. They might see the creepy Turon everywhere. To expound a bit more, Here, you know, it's
Come in,
Keith.
Keith.
Music in Poland goes way back to its ancient Slavic roots. Instruments typically used include things like the
Isn't this the horn KSI tried to play?
wood horn, the hurdy-gurdy, the horse hair drum, the pedal accordion, and the suka.
What you call me?
Even though he had spent most of his time in France, Chopin was born in Poland. His homeland was
Chopin.
always one of the central themes to his often somber and melancholy masterpieces cherished worldwide. During the Polish National Revival, this dude collected varieties of folk music for broadcast, including the most famous ones, these which are still performed to this day. I know that there's this guitar player named Jakub Zychecki, and he is amazing.
Thank you, Keith. And now the most complicated part, history. In the quickest way I can condense it, Slavic tribes and states in the Vistula Basin, Piast Dynasty, Greater Poland, Christianity and tribal unification, Pomerania is annexed, this dude becomes the first king, feudal disintegration, Mongols invade, Czechs invade, Teutonic Knights invade, Polish-Lithuanian Commonwealth, Swedes invade, Prussians invade, end of the Commonwealth, Constitution written, Napoleonic Wars, Kingdom of Poland and Free State of Krakow, Russian partitions and Russian Poland, World War I, Polish-Soviet War, independence from Russia, Germany invades, World War II.
How many people invaded Russia? Yo, Russia. I mean, invaded Poland, bruv. Like, how many people invaded Poland? Yo, no. Poland, come on, bro. We need to bring back some of those beers. We need to bring back some of those Polish beers to fight. Come on, man. We can't be allowing that.
Begins, communism years, independence, weird West Germany stuff, some other interesting things like they got a Pope and a Nobel Peace Prize, first fully free elections, they joined NATO and the EU, and here we are today! Some people you guys, the Polish geography suggested we mentioned in this episode include all those dukes and kings.
Let me see if I recognize anybody. Okay, no. Wait, somebody calling my phone? Oh, never mind. Misko. I do not recognize anybody.
Kings. Pretty much any hero that fought with the winged hussars. Copernicus, although he was technically German. Marie Curie was actually Polish. Mikołaj Rai, Pope John Paul II.
Okay, we know Pope John Paul.
All these.
Here we go. Marie. Wait a minute. Is this the right closer on the screen? Is closer from Poland? Or is closer from Germany? Of course we know the legend Lewandowski, as Thomas Muller would say, Robert Lewandowski, you don't know, goal scorer, one of my football legends. I look up to Lewandowski. Every day I would go home and look at Lewandowski highlights at Dortmund and at Bayern Munich. Now he's at Barcelona. But this guy's like a heavy lifter, right? But is this the same Closer, bro? Am I tripping? But it does look like Closer. Isn't Closer German? Or did Closer was born in Poland and represented Germany in the World Cup? Let me check some. I must be tripping. But was Closer born in we know Closer represented Germany, but was he born in Poland? Closer probably was born in Poland, huh? Yeah, Closer was born in Opole, Poland. What? I did not know that. I thought he was fully German, man.
Athletes, these directors.
He should have represented Poland. Closer, you should have represented Poland, bro.
All these artists and musicians.
Oh, let me see if I recognize anybody else. No.
Copernicus, although he was technically German. Marie Curie was actually Polish. Mikołaj Rai, Pope John Paul II. All these athletes, these directors. All these artists and musicians. The dude from the movie The Pianist was a real guy. These American revolutionaries. And speaking of Americans, John Krasinski, Kristen Bell, Steve Carell, and Roman Polanski are also part Polish. Apple co-founder Steve Wozniak. And finally, of course, Grzegorz Bręczyk. And there's a lot more I could have mentioned, but that would take way too long. There's a lot of famous Poles all over the world. They've left their global mark. And speaking of global marks, that brings us to...
Oh, come on, Kevin Hart and Stephen Curry again, mate.
On everything you saw.
Oh, Kevin Hart. Yo, take the time to subscribe. I know you didn't subscribe. I know you're watching this video and didn't subscribe. If you're Polish and you're watching this video, subscribe right now. Let's go, my Polish people. I didn't know Closer was Polish. All this time I thought he was just German, bro. I did not know all my time watching, and I'm a football fiend. I watch football every day. I grew up, I still play football. I'm trying to go professionally. But I had no, look at my country, Jamaica right here. I had no idea that Closer was from Poland.
As a central player in Europe for a long, complicated history, it's no surprise Poland has picked up quite an entourage over many, many years of Polish existence. For one, as part of the Visegrad group, the Czechs and Slovaks are generally considered the close West Slavic brothers. They've had very few wars and conflicts with them. They understand their languages, kind of. However, they both kind of think the other sounds funny when they talk. For Russians, it's more of like a people versus government thing. As people, Poles and Russians get along quite well on a human level. It's just the governments that often disagree and clash.
Okay.
Poland for a while was under the Iron Curtain and Warsaw Pact, which complicated things even more. But as crazy as things get, there is always kind of like this universal Slavic understanding, which is why Ukraine comes in as a pretty close friend. Ukrainians love to come to Poland for work. There is also a fast-growing Ukrainian community, and they kind of share a similar post-communist struggle alliance, although they still kind of don't like how Ukrainians honor the UPA, which is a whole other story. Poland is kind of like Germany's biggest regret that they have to constantly be reminded of literally every day as they are neighbors, but they are the largest economic partner for them as well. Germany does have many bilateral relations with Poland. It's the 21st century, people have grown up and moved on, and the future looks bright mostly between the two. Quick note, Lithuania is like the divorced wife that they remember having some of the best years of their history with. Today, when a Pole meets a Lithuanian, they just kind of nod and smile, understanding everything the other is thinking without a single word. Their
real?
best friend, however, every Pole has told me the same thing: Hungary. Historically, they've shared some of the same monarchs, heroes. They've always helped each other in times of need. There are many parks and monuments commemorating the friendship between the two. There's even a saying in Polish, two brothers, both to the saber and the bottle. In conclusion, let's give this to Conrad. Conrad, what do you have to say?
Poland is a country that has a lot to offer both geographically and has been through pretty much everything historically. It's been an empire, it's been completely erased from the map, and today Poland is a growing and thriving country. I'm sure that the role of Poland on the European scene will only grow.
Thank you, Conrad, and thank you, Art, for being in this episode.
Well, that's the end of the video. I think this was a long video. I don't even know how long I was sitting here, but I love geography, so I like it, man. Oh my god, this video has been for 30 minutes. Yo, that's crazy. It's your boy, Devin to the man. If you made it this far in the video, comment down below. 30 minutes, so I know you've watched this to the end, and I'll try my best to reply to every single comment. Guess what? We are out of here. Time is going by. It's 30 minutes. I'm so sorry. If you made it this far in the video, shout out to you. You're a real one. It's your boy, Devin to the end. We are out of here, man. Subscribe. Peace.